We're going to start with the nation. Electricity crisis. I left my glasses today, so I was straining. Governors reject sale of 10 power plants. It's difficult to fake new Naira notes, says Buhari. After Babalola to challenge Ekiti Speaker's impeachment. Ogun Central Monarchs back Abiodun for second term. Ex-AGF Idris returned $900,000 cash. Witness tells court. Osun Palace raised. Tinubu inaugurates Ebonyi Government House Road. Bandits demand new Naira notes to free abducted victims. You gotta be kidding me.
They're not kidding you.
Okay.
They have demands.
Yeah. Who's starting with?
Okay, let me start with the kidnappers demanding. So they kidnapped four people in Zamfara State, and they first demanded 10 million. Then they later reduced it to 5 million, saying they will not collect the old Naira notes. That they will wait till the Naira notes is in circulation, and then they should pay them their 5 million Naira with the new Naira notes.
And you know that the banks are saying that, and EFCC too, they're saying that they're going to be screening large withdrawals going forward. So would this mean that it would also help them trace where these monies end up, and they help, thereby helping,
I think it is easy.
Arresting these kidnappers?
Just mark the money.
Yeah. Any large tranche, you should note it, because what we know is we're not meant to do over 5 million Naira cash transactions anymore as individuals. So if you're withdrawing,
but those guys are not putting their money in the banks, so the transaction is always just ammunition and food. So I guess, well, it can be traced. But Nigeria, do we have that tracing capacity? There's a lot of conversation around this stuff.
Talking about the new money, as we know, it was finally launched. The president at the unveiling of the new 1,500 and 200 Naira notes says that these particular notes have some security features that will make it impossible for fraudsters and counterfeiters to counterfeit the money. And he's also proud of the fact that this redesign was done locally by the Nigerian NSP, that's the Nigerian Security Printing PLC. He mentioned that many African countries actually print their monies abroad and is imported into their countries like we import goods, but he's proud to say that we have done it locally this time. He also said that it was long overdue. He said the CBN governor had approached him and talked about the need for us to control the currency circulation. Also, he brought to his attention that there's a lot of monies that's been hoarded, and so this will go a long way to reversing some of those issues. He says, ideally, currency redesign needs to be done every 5 to 8 years, and it's been 20 years since the last one. The CBN governor also talked about, he was grateful to the president for supporting to do this at a time like this, and he also was proud that it was done locally as well. And he says that this will also help with making sure that implementation of monetary policies going forward will be done properly. It said that it will affect inflation rates, and so many other things.
So let me quickly
I just wish they would add it.
No, not Swiss.
I just wanted to say that I would prefer they call it recoloring.
People have been doing all shades like that. The shades are shades.
He said it was saturation.
I want to talk about still within the economy story, the Attorney General of the Federation that was suspended, Ahmed Idris, voluntarily returned $900,000 in cash. And the witnesses, if we remember, he was suspended because there was an allegation of missing 109 billion Naira public funds under his watch. Said he compromised the TSA and led to breach in trust to the tune of 109 billion. So between him and someone else, he returned $900,000 voluntarily in cash. And they said it is shy of the 100,000. It was supposed to be $1 million that they said he had. So I want a public trial. I want it to be everywhere. It is too small in the papers. We need to talk about this. And this man that was appointed under this administration in 2015, he was suspended when the story came out. He and 3 others. It is still an allegation, and we are waiting for a conviction, a proper trial. We don't want a mistrial. We don't want a trial, a case thrown out because they don't have enough evidence. Let it follow through.
That's why we don't want a media trial. Let them gather all the evidences properly and then take him to court so that we don't hear a story that, oh, it's all a media trial. I was going to take the governors. So 10 governors under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum rejected the sale of 10 power plants. They were asking also that they insisted on a legal solution for the $418 million Paris Club refund fee, now saying that nothing should be done until the courts say on the matter. They said also that issue that the court order restraining all parties in the suit from taking any step to sell any of these 10 power plants that will make or render the outcome of the motion on notice seeking for interlocutory injunction nugatory. So the effect of, pretty much they're just saying that they shouldn't sell these 10 plants. But I didn't really get the issues. The report didn't give us the issues the NGF is having specifically concerning these power plants. I hope we can have that at some point, but they're just asking that the sale should be stopped. Let me move quickly now to the Punch. Governor stop deductions, consultations head for French court. New Naira, CBN, EFCC to track large withdrawals. Police kill Osun Prince, hoodlums raise palace. Excess crude accounts declined by 89%. Ekiti. Sands says speaker's impeachment coup d'etat. NNPC meets marketers as petrol scarcity bites harder. Obi's plane grounded, campaign train seeks alternative arrangements. And PDP differs as APC dismisses electronic result transmission. Okay, which story are we starting with in Punch?
I should start with the Osun Prince. Apparently, they had installed a new Oba, the new Akin of Ikin, Oba Olalekon Akadiri. They said he was the new monarch of the town. But I think there were problems because they had locked the palace. So they were outside the palace. I think the police were trying to get access to it. So there was a scuffle. According to onlookers, the police fired a shot and the prince, Lukman Olatunji, was shot in the head. Wasn't on purpose. It was a
stray bullet.
You know. And then 4 other persons sustained injuries because they were fighting. It was a fight. Anyway, the area boys got angry, the youth in that area got angry and burnt one of the buildings in the palace. And they stopped the fire truck from coming to put out the fire. But the police said, no, that's not what happened, though. That they were just there to ensure that there was renovation. And it's that renovation that they now fought, and then the area boys now shot and killed the prince. So the police story is totally different.
He said, she said.
Asper. So who's coming to Punch? What other story?
Yes. So still at the unveiling, the CBN governor has said that the CBN will be working with other agencies like EFCC, ICPC, and other corrupt and other related offences commission to work together, especially when it has to do with withdrawals from banks. It says going forward, large withdrawals would include will involve people filling in so many documents, as in they're going to make it so tedious for you that you may have to decide, you know what, I'm not interested, that you will fill so many forms, they will ask you for so many details, BVN, NIN, everything, and that they're trying to usher our economy into a cashless economy. It says there's no country anywhere in the world that that wants their country to be cash-dependent economy, and we have to gradually move into that form of a cashless economy. And then he also said that so many people were saying that this redesign was targeting a specific person or specific set of people, a specific group of people. That that's not the case. That is just that we have to, that this is standard practice. Every 5 to 8 years, you must redesign your currency, and they haven't done that in 20 years. And this affects, and this will help with the control of the currency out there, just like, I'd mentioned in the story I took earlier. And this is really for our economy and not for a specific person. So going forward, people have to understand that they will not be able to just walk into the banks and get out large sums of money.
They should start with the banks.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you will get POS. You will. The banks will not transmit your money.
pumps?
Well, these are conversations we're still having, but we cannot talk about it right
You
now.
will just be getting charged back. For what?
Yeah.
Me, I know what I'm suffering with banks, so I beg you.
Deposit your cash, Abi. And they know you're a cash business.
Let me take the issue of petrol. I think we talked about this several times, but it's still in the papers because NNPC would now be meeting with the marketers as this scarcity has actually come to Lagos. Now they're accused everywhere. So I think it was the National Public Relations Officer, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chief Ukadike Chinedu, was explaining the situation, which we have been told several times. But let me just reiterate it for those who haven't heard about it. So they're having issues because the cost to transport from the mother vessel to the daughter vessel, which actually fills up the tanks, has quadrupled. Because it used to be $38,000, it has moved to around $108,000 to $111,000. And if the government is insisting they charge 145 Naira to the per liter, it doesn't make any sense for the marketers. So there has to be a review. I mean, that's why they're having issues. They can't even bring the fuel to our filling stations. Some people are selling 210 because I bought 210 yesterday or 2 days ago. Some people are still selling at 145. So it's really difficult for these marketers to retain the pump prices. But hopefully the NNPC will be meeting with them today because everywhere now there's scarcity. And it's a serious issue.
Let me take the story of the presidential campaign of the Labour Party presidential candidate. Peter Obi's plane was grounded. They said it was in Ibadan. And they were supposed to take off from Ibadan. The plane carries the National Working Committee and the NEC members of the campaign. And it was, according to them, grounded by powers that be. So the Deputy Director General and campaign manager for Labour Party presidential campaign, Oseleko, yes, the man, Mr. Obaze, was the first to raise alarm on Twitter to say that there were powers that be that grounded their craft. And they were citing that that the powers that be are citing regulatory reasons to slow down their campaign moves, but that they will find alternative ways. The report, however, from the side of the NCC was that this is not a private plane. There is a schedule. The plane belongs to a scheduled operator, and it is based on that scheduled operator that they grounded that plane, and it can be easily fixed. But, you know, it's not everything that we should get. Please put out facts only. Because right now, all through these reports, there was no statement on what was the reason it was grounded. What reason did the NCC give for the plane being grounded? Because if you are just speculating that it's powers that be, it is political, that's not right.
I think also it's campaign season.
Facts.
People should understand
don't heat up the
that
politics.
These are sensitive times. So from the federal government side and from the party side, everybody must ensure it's only facts, not based on powers that be or sentiments or something. Be very careful this time so that we don't heat up. Okay, let's take moving on to Daily Sun. Redesigned Naira, 165 billion Naira back in banks as Buhari unveils the new note. 2023 presidency, why I prefer Obi to Tinubu, says Adebanjo. INEC raises fresh security alerts over 2023 polls. UBTH to commence open heart surgery, says CMD. Fuel scarcity, commuters groan as fare hits roof in Lagos and Abuja. APC chairman expresses doubt on INEC's capacity to transmit election results electronically. British envoy decries electoral violence, says world watching Nigeria. Atiku will soon meet G5 governors, says Okowa South governors to reaffirm support. Enugu government flays attack on farmers in Eha Amufu, calls for immediate deployment of more security personnel. Okay, which story are we taking here?
Commuters groan as fuel scarcity bites harder. Commuters, they say, across Lagos are beginning to feel the heat of the resurgence of fuel queues. I mean, everyone can say it's either you're in traffic because the long queues along the road, and so the lanes are much reduced. And they're talking about the fact that development, both major and independent fuel marketers have also adopted different pricing models depending on their location. Some are selling for 170 per litre, others 200, 205, 210. The report is just saying how many people are complaining. They're stranded at bus stations and taxi ranks because, you know, everyone is queuing up. Transporters are taking advantage of the situation, and it's affecting transportation fare. Just the usual. So we would like to know what the story is, what's causing this, and when this will end.
It's gone from 300 Naira to 500 Naira. and in Songo is
Naira
gone
for
from
what?
In few.
transport.
Transportation.
Transportation costs are
It's really bad. I mean,
Transportation I mean, that's what is going to happen.
added difficulty on people
I think
that
the
are-
reality is, we'll talk about it another day. Let's speak up another story in turn.
Yes, so Peter Obi's campaign the plane was grounded in Oyo because they went for a campaign rally in Oyo. They were at the, I want to get to the stadium, Lagos Salami Stadium, Ibadan, Oyo State yesterday. And the conversation was around the candidate saying he appreciated Afenifere for standing with him, that they have represented, that they are custodians of the conscience of the nation. And just because the fact that he has a Yoruba, the leader of the Afenifere supporting him, Adebayo. So Adebayo now said that people shouldn't take it personal. It's not an attack against the candidate for APC. That people are saying that he is not supporting his Yoruba brother, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that is not the case. That they should remember how he supported Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was contesting for the governorship for Lagos State, how he stood by him then, but that for now, this is what he feels and is in support of the political arrangement that he should go to the Southeast. That is not a matter of Yoruba or Igbo, it's about Nigeria. And so, generally, campaign speech that we expect to receive.
Okay, moving on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Ekiti Assembly Speaker's impeachment's reckless, says Afe Olanipekun and Falano. $1 billion looted funds recovered since 2015, says federal government. Senate probes concessioning of 700 megawatts Zungeru power plant. Adebanjo leads Obi-Dati campaign to Southwest, insists on justice, fairness, and equity. One killed palace burns as angry residents protest installation of the new Ikinru monarch. INEC to mobilize national institutions responsible for tackling, combating illicit flow of funds. And woman stabs husband to death over sex nights they reconciled after 3 months separation. I don't understand. Who took that story? Right, do you have that story? Nobody.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, please, let's start with that, because let's have it.
They had been quarreling, so they had separated. After 3 months, people coming and putting them together, they reconciled. When they got home, he now made sexual advances to her. And she was saying, no, she doesn't want. So he got annoyed and took her phone, smashed it on the floor. She retaliated by using a knife, stabbed him. They paraded her with,
Jesus.
Settle.
This one is settled now.
This is what causes it. They should have just left them in peace in their separation.
Well, it's not funny. Let's just take another
Yes,
story.
INEC. The chairman of INEC is saying that INEC will be working with relevant national institutions that have the responsibility of tracking and also tracking, funds, movement of funds, especially to combat the movement of illicit funds during these elections that were headed towards, he says it's 93 days away. I guess today we'll make it 92 days away from elections in 2023. And he was responding to a question about financing, of campaigns. And he says that these bodies, so that's the ICPC and EFCC, they'll be working closely with INEC to make sure that all this vote buying, movement of large sums of money from one place to the other that will be suspicious, of course, will be tracked, and also whoever it is behind will be, found out and prosecuted. He says that the BVAS is here to stay, and also reiterated, as they've always done, that they are going to make sure that they deliver for us a free and fair elections.
So the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, was stating that the government has recovered $1 billion since the beginning of this administration. They recovered $1 billion for looted funds, of course. And they were also giving some indications of some successes by the EFCC. So, for example, they said that EFCC has since in 2022 alone has recorded over 3,000 convictions. I'm not sure where I can't recall that many, but that's what the report he was giving. He was also saying that there have been 109 convictions were recorded from inception of major agencies of the government, and he was just giving like a rundown of the various successes of the administration. He was speaking at FEC meeting yesterday. He announced that the council's approval to extend the current anti-corruption strategy document 2022 to 2026 to strengthen anti-graft fight in the fight in the country. He also explained that the same document has been adopted for the period of 2017. So he was just giving a report. If we look at some of these reports, we can see indeed that the federal government has done quite a bit, but this is information that we shall be receiving year on, year out.
Yeah.
If bringing all these great things towards the end of the year is not very, should have been done earlier, so that Nigerians have it at their fingertips.
As what Mariam would say, sometimes we see the stories in the papers, but we don't take it, or we don't read it, or we read it and we don't believe them.
Yes.
You know, because I've been reading the military stories, and I'm like, the military is actually reporting regularly about all the good things they've done, just like NDLEA, but we just choose not to believe it. You know?
Somewhere in our subconscious. Okay, we have to run. I think we have, we've run out of time. That's all we can take on front page review.